Hey, hello everyone. Thanks for joining us. It's Ailika Follett. I'm a business strategist who works with entrepreneurs to step away from that chasing that grind and get to monthly recurring revenues. I show you how to be the in-demand person in your industry because when you're the in-demand person in your industry, you get to have a little more ease in your life. You get some of your time back.
Mm.
So we use visibility strategies, productivity hacks, and mindset shifts so you get to work less, live more. How do you want to live more and feel better, right? All right. So today we have Nicolette Moore with us. Nicolette Moore is incredible. She's I've never seen someone really take a story and use it in a way that totally aligns with their business, their branding, and brings it together in a way that just aligns so perfectly that it shifts the audience, right? It shifts the mood. So it's literally a game changer, and I love what you do. So I'm gonna let you tell folks what you do, though. Nicola, go ahead.
Thank you. Thanks, Alika. Thank you for having me on. Yeah, I'm Nicolette Moore. I'm the founder and host of Unicorn Talks. And I have worked with new and emerging entrepreneurs for many years now. And one thing I've noticed is there's a strong distinction between a very successful multiple seven-figure entrepreneur and someone who's just getting started and getting their feet wet into the entrepreneurial space, especially coaches and consultants and service
Mhm.
providers who want to do big things, make a big impact with their business and with their brand. And the distinction is really their capacity to influence from any stage that they're on, whether it's virtual or
Mhm.
physical. And what I've also noticed is that there is a distinct difference between those who work on their craft and those who just try to stumble along the way. And there's no harm, right, in stumbling along the way. It just may delay your getting on the big stages that you dream of
Exactly.
versus having some intentional focus on it. And so I created Unicorn Talks as a mechanism to help collapse time
Yeah.
and help, and yeah, collapse time, help these heart-centered entrepreneurs to really make the difference that they want in a faster time frame. So that's a very high level overview of Unicorn Talks and what we're up to today.
Right. And it's so cool because it's about using your voice. Like the voice is the superpower. And
Mhm.
I love how you talk about, it's okay to stumble through it. But here's the thing, right? When we're talking about living in a space of getting your time back, the fast fast. I know, I'll give you an example. When I take my kids to Disney World, so if you don't know me or if it's your first time seeing me, I've got four kids. Nicolette has, what is it, six?
6.
Nicolette has six. So we got a lot of kids between us, right?
Mhm.
When I take my kids to Disney World, we don't just pop on in the park and just get moving, right? We tried that one time. We went to the park, we got in the lines, and we were in lines longer than we were on rides, right? So the
Mhm.
lines were an hour and a half. The next time I was like, you know what? I don't like things that take forever. My time is valuable. I like to get the cheat code to get to the next thing, right? And so for me, I always got the fast pass. I was
Yes.
like, I get the fast pass at Disney World, then it allows me to jump the line. It allows me to jump the line, get on the ride faster, and move to the next thing, right? Get the next result, the next benefits. And that's essentially what you're doing here, Nicolette, is allowing someone who wants to speak on stages, who wants to get paid to speak, right? To almost fast pass, jump the line, get their talk ready, and get it ready to the point where their voice is their superpower. Their voice is sharing their story in a way that's impactful to the audience, to in a way that gets the audience to move, gets the audience to take action. And I know for me, I'm an action taker. I
Mhm.
want to take action, right? I want to get to the front of the line. So I'm always going to use the fast pass because that's going to allow me to jump the line and get on that ride sooner, be getting paid for speaking opportunities. That's the move, you know?
100%. And that's the thing too, is that this is something that I think is highly undervalued in the market, but the value, Warren Buffett said it best. He said that you increase your value to the market by 50% by learning how to speak in
Yeah.
public. And it's one of those things that people unfortunately, they'll get onto podcasts or they'll pursue stages, but they don't pursue training. They don't pursue feedback.
Mhm.
They don't pursue learning how to use it properly.
Yeah.
Then it ends up not really serving them. All the effort of
Mhm.
getting in front of all these different audiences doesn't serve them as powerfully as it could if they had that powerful voice, they had that
Mhm.
powerful story, and were able to weave it into what they're doing.
It's so true. I often think about the first time I was paid to speak, right? So the first time I was paid to speak, I was super excited, right? I was like,
Mhm.
yes, somebody's paying me to get on their stage, right? And so I drove about an hour, it was about an hour from my house, right? I was only being paid about $500 or something, right? So it wasn't like I was
It's
getting
good. It's
paid,
good. It's
right?
good.
But I drove that hour. I put together, like printed out some pamphlets and had my business cards and different things with me. And I got up there and I delivered my talk and I was so proud of it. Right. And I was like, yes, these people, not only are they going to start taking action, but clearly I'm going to be invited back. Right. So I get home, I had a couple of calls. I was really excited. Like, oh, people did want what I had. And, a couple of calls and, signed up a couple of new clients. But then the event came up again the next year and I heard crickets. I didn't get the call back. So I was like, oh, maybe they forgot. Let me reach out, you know?
Mhm.
And sure enough, they were like, oh, we've already filled the spots. Here's the funny part though. That person and I became friends after that, like over the years after that. And I asked her why, at this point I could ask
Mhm.
her if we're friends. And she's like, honestly, your talk just didn't really resonate with the people in the room. It wasn't, you didn't hit them here. It wasn't impactful enough. And so the folks who actually did set up calls, it was because they were the exact person who needed the exact thing that I was offering that day. So
Yeah.
they were definitely going to get it. But everything else, everybody else in the room were deaf ears at that point because I didn't break through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, had I connected with Unicorn Talks, like that could have been a game changer. What were you gonna say?
Well, I was going to say you hit on something really important.
Mhm,
It's not that you can't have success wherever you go if you
mhm,
don't have the formal training. It's
mhm,
just that the level, right? So like on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being meh, 10 being cha-ching, like big
right.
time success. If you don't nail what your audience wants or what they need in the moment, if
Mhm,
you don't have the presentation skills, if you don't have the oration skills, if you don't know how to outline a message, if you don't know how to clearly communicate, your ability to impact is going to be closer to the 1, right? It doesn't
mhm,
mean that it doesn't impact, it doesn't mean that you won't get clients out of it. But just imagine if you had your ducks in
mhm,
a row, if you had
mhm,
the understanding of what you needed to show up with before you land the stage. If you showed up prepared, clear outline, you know how to
mhm,
present, you understand how your presence impacts the room, and you hit a 10, what would your life look like? How
mhm.
different would the outcome be? So I love that. That's such a great example because we're not saying that you can't have success at all if you don't have
Right.
formal training. That's not the case at all. But it's just, again, collapsing time. Going from
Exactly.
1 to 10 on the scale can
Mhm,
take years if you don't have proper training. So why not
mhm.
collapse time and
Yep.
get some proper training so that you can make more of an impact on whatever stage you speak on moving forward?
Exactly. And like you said, it's like you're collapsing time, but also you're you're thinking like if I think that room that I was in, it's about 50 people in that room, 50 women.
Hmm.
And at least what I was offering could have helped at least like 40 of them. But
Hmm.
two, two of them reached out.
Hmm.
And so that's a situation where had I been able to connect with that audience in the right way, in a way that aligned and impacted them and they knew this is for me by sharing my story in a frankly in a better way than what I shared, right? That would have been way more clients than the two. That would have been way more people in my circle now or wanting to be a part of things that I offered, right?
Yeah. And
That's
I think your story is so interesting. Like I would love to watch your video and see how you presented because generally it's like what you showed up with on that stage probably was awesome. Probably where you you may have lacked is one, creating that emotional connection. So, and
Yeah.
and the creation of the emotional connection is so interesting because it could just be a recomposition of the same words,
Hmm.
or taking the same idea and just choosing new words to portray the same, to like paint the picture in a different way,
Yeah.
in a way that's more intimate and welcoming to the audience. So it's so interesting. Like I actually, if you can get that video, I'd love to look at it because
I
I
don't
think
even think we recorded it.
emotional and
We recorded. But again, it was, it was a while ago. But that's the thing. It's like not knowing what you
yeah,
don't know.
exactly.
And sometimes believing that you are, connecting with people and connecting with their emotions and things like that, but it's actually not happening. You
Yes.
know?
I just watched a training. There's a program I'm a part of, and I was watching a training on a specific topic. I don't want to give too much information because I don't want to call this person out, but there was a speaker on stage, and she had said, she's spoken on multiple stages before, and she's been doing this for a long time. And her message was so disjointed. She gave little bits and pieces of these stories that, as an audience member, it did, none of the pieces connected in my head. Like, she started telling a story and then just like dropped it, and there was no transition. Now there is like the idea, Miss Jen had talked about, leaving breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
There is an art and a science to leaving breadcrumbs, but what this speaker was doing was not leaving breadcrumbs. She was just telling a small little snippet of a story that made no sense to me as the audience member,
Right.
and then just cut it off.
Hmm.
And so she thought she like crushed the talk. I actually spoke to her after, and she's like, "Oh, this is so good. I love speaking from stage." And she's a sweet, amazing woman, and I just, like, my heart went, goes out to her because she doesn't understand. She's not getting feedback. I
Right.
know she's not getting feedback because of how
Mhm.
she presented on
Yeah.
stage, and the amount of impact she could create if she only
Yeah.
tailors, like connects some
Mhm.
dots, makes the
Nice.
transition smoother, would make a tremendous difference. And it's just, people do this all the time.
Yeah.
And unless we have feedback, we
Mhm.
just don't know. It's really hard to see how we impact. I call it the curse of knowledge.
Yeah.
It's that I know so much about my story. I know where I'm coming from.
Mhm.
You should get it too.
Right. Exactly.
You're not in my head. And people do that. Speakers do that all the time,
Yeah.
especially when they don't have that training to become aware of it.
Exactly. And I love the point you're making around feedback, because feedback is so key. And the fact that you're having, like, I keep coming back to Unicorn Talks because it's super important, right? When you mentioned to me, because we were just talking randomly, and you were like, yeah, I've got this program, and people get feedback from, what is it, a world renowned Toastmasters
Yes.
champion, right?
Yeah.
Along with like you and your branding and your messaging experience and background. And there's like judges almost, right? There's a group of judges who are like expert speakers and speaker coaches and things like that are also there providing real feedback. Like,
100%.
that's game changing, because
Yes.
you go from leaving the stage, right? Thinking, oh, I tore this stage down. I killed it, right? And you're feeling amazing. And so you walk off the stage and you're just like looking at your watch, like, obviously these stripe things are coming in because I killed this thing, and nothing's coming in, right? There's no stripe dings at all,
Oh,
right?
sure.
And so you're like, what happened? Well, nobody's going to tell you. You can reach out to the person who hosts it, but many times that person's not going to take the time, or not, honestly, or not going to either care enough, or feel like, I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Mhm.
They're not going to give the feedback that's needed, that would be so beneficial. And so having that is game changing for your speaker career, you know?
100%. Yeah, I think the paradox of, like, I don't wanna hurt your feelings, but I'm gonna hurt your career
Right.
blows my mind. It's like,
Exactly.
I'm a big
Loving.
believer in raw, honest feedback, but love, lovingly,
Mhm. Right.
coming from a place of, I want what's
Mm.
best for you. I want you to make the most
Exactly.
impact that you want to create. And this is where you can take your current skill set to the next level in order to do so.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, exactly. And I think that that's what it's all about, right? It's taking things to the next level. It's taking your speaking career to the next level. And, taking really your business to the next level, because
Mhm.
when you learn how to speak using your story, using your voice to share your story, you're also able to use your voice to create the messaging that aligns to your next offer or to your brand, your business.
Yes,
That's
100%. And that's a big part of what I focus on too with my speakers. So I look at,
Mhm.
does your story support your brand and how? Like, how
Mhm.
can we make it an asset that you can use in the future for any keynote, presentation, workshop, on stage talk, signature talk, anything that you're going to be doing that's going to be client facing or prospect facing? How does this story support that brand? And so that's a huge part of Unicorn Talks. I'm very adamant about ensuring that your talk aligns with your brand and there's a clear through line that somebody in the audience would know, okay, this person is my person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I think that, for those who are ready, right? Nicolette, for those, because there's some people on here who are like, you know what, this is something that I want to learn about, but I need a little more information.
Yeah.
I would say definitely connect with Nicolette. You can send her a DM, or if you're like, well, Alika, I don't have her information, send her a DM, then send me a DM and I'll connect you with Nicolette. But there's somebody out there right now who's like, I've got this story and I've been sharing it, but for whatever reason, it's not connecting. And
Mhm.
I need that feedback. And I need to figure out how I can connect this story to my brand and messaging overall.
Yes.
That person that's ready right now, I mean, go to the link, right? We've got the link right here in the comments, and it's probably in the description. I don't know. When I'm going from StreamYard, I cannot tell where stuff goes, if I'm being honest, but it's somewhere in here, right? So you can get to that link and you can sign up. You can imagine if you sign up today, right? uh, what is this? February 26th.
Yep.
Imagine if you sign up today, February 26th at 3:05 p.m. 6 weeks from now, you could be on a stage sharing your story
Mhm.
in a way that resonates with an audience. And if you sign up with this link, you get to share your story with an audience of over 70,000. Like, that's game changing too.
Yeah.
So really get it out there. Get that feedback, right? Get that feedback that could literally change your business. All
Yes.
right.
I
So
agree.
one thing you want to leave folks with, Nicolette?
You know, a lot of people there Unicorn Talks really serves a wide range of speakers. So if you're brand new and you're curious about speaking but you've never done it formally,
Mm,
come and join us. This is an awesome opportunity for you to be in a safe space where we really guide you. We hold your hand through the
mm,
entire process. If you have spoken on stages before, but you want to refine your message, you know that you have the next level to hit, and you want that kind of challenge and that type of feedback into your messaging, into your process in order to hit that next level, come. This is an awesome place for that. Really, the only speakers that Unicorn Talks doesn't really serve are people that are like crushing the TEDx stage and they're teaching people how to speak themselves. You're outside of those realms and you want to have speaking as a part of your asset for building your brand, growing your business, this is an awesome opportunity for you. And there are many people who are concerned that what if they're not perfect, or is the judging process, are they going to judge me if I say us, or if
right.
they say, I say I stutter a lot. I
Mm,
stutter quite a bit. People say they don't notice and I'm like, how do you
right.
do that? So it's not about the perfect delivery. It's
Mm,
about perfecting your delivery. And in
mm,
time, there will be a place where you get to, and you're not saying ums. You're not saying, you're not
mm,
saying so. That's one
mhm.
line. So, and I say that all
Yeah.
the time,
Mine is right. I say
right?
right every 13 seconds.
So, the things that you have to work
Mhm.
on, right, Alika?
Yeah, exactly. Mm,
Inside of Unicorn Talks, you don't have to be perfect. What we're working on is the refinement of where you're at right now and trying to
mhm,
get you to the most the most highest degree of capacity, capability, excellence where you're at now, and just know there's no ceiling, there's no cap. You can just keep working from here. But it's
Mhm.
not about perfection. It's just about perfecting your delivery. And we got you. We got
Absolutely.
you covered.
Absolutely. I love that. Well, thank you all so much. I'm so excited for everybody who's here. Yes, Kim, hop on in. Join us at Unicorn Talks. This is a game changer, like literally. I've literally seen Nicole, or why did I call you Nicole? Is there a Nicole on here?
I forgive you.
Anyways, like, I've literally been in a room where Nicolette has helped someone, guided them through their talk, guided them through connecting their talk to their messaging, and provided the feedback. And literally it was a game changer for that person. So imagine being in a space where you've got Nicolette and you've got a world
Dave.
renowned speaker coach, and you've got feedback from incredible folks, judges who have been doing this for a long time. And I don't even want to call them judges. I almost want to call them feedback givers, because these people aren't going to be out here judging you, quote unquote. They're providing value. Like, and for the price, I mean, it's a no-brainer. It really
It
is.
really is. It really is. We're providing, so we're in beta, so we have
Right.
the low price because of beta, but eventually we're going to be out of beta and it will not
Mhm.
be at this price point anymore. But we're really
Yeah.
wanting to provide as much value to however many emerging speakers or newer
Mhm.
speakers or seasoned speakers who want to up level their skills, as possible right now. So
Exactly.
definitely
And
the best time to get in right now.
yes, and seeing the benefits that you get from getting in now. Like, imagine investing just $500 and it turning into $5,000, $50,000 worth of benefits. From now, you're connecting your messaging to an audience where they are feeling it emotionally and shifting and ready to take action. Or you're
100%.
connecting in a way where now these folks who have speaking opportunities are like, I need her on my stage. Like that's game changing.
Hmm.
Shift. And for that investment, it's like, why not?
Yes,
So, all
100%.
right, so we have to go, but this has been great. I'm super excited for everyone, and congratulations for those who have signed up now for
Yes.
Unicorn Talks. This is like, I'm excited to see you shift. All right,
Me too.
so we will talk to you all soon. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, Alika.